Good morning, friends and folks. We're very grateful that you would come here on this beautiful morning in this beautiful location. Can you hear me all right in the back? My name is Scott Russin, and I've been honored by the family to be able to conduct these services today. And we extend a welcome to all of you and express appreciation for you being here on this beautiful fall morning. We acknowledge Jason's loving wife, Hannah, and parents, his brother and sister, their spouses, nieces and nephews, and extended family and friends that are gathered here today on this beautiful, beautiful fall morning in a setting that is very much Jason. And I know that he would be grateful and appreciative of this place and the love that is here today in honoring his life. We have just come from the mortuary where the family prayer was offered by Jason's dad, Tony Federico. We will now be glad to hear a live sketch presented by Jason's sister-in-law, Sheree Federico, followed by a song that will be presented by Jason's nieces and nephews, You'll Be in My Heart. After their musical number, we will then hear from Jason's sister, Nikki Larson. Following Nikki, we will hear a vocal solo by Holly Jo Cushing. She will be singing, I Will Be in Your Heart. Our concluding speaker will be Jason's brother, Brandon Federico. We'll go to that point in the services today. Sheree?
Jayson Kelly Federico. Born August 12, 1984, in Richland, Washington. Passed away on September 8, 2014, in Salt Lake City, Utah, after an aggressive 8-month battle with cancer. He was the son of Tony and Sharon Federico. Jayson married the love of his life, Hannah Angus, on September 1st, 2012, who he spent the last joyful days with. Jayson was a dedicated gamer, mechanic, photographer, firearm enthusiast, and enjoyed helping his friends and family with anything. He adored his nieces and nephews and treasured spending time with them. Jayson made us laugh even in the most serious of times. He excelled at everything he set his mind to and had an insatiable thirst for knowledge, always searching for new and exciting things. Jayson lived with energy and, sensing his end, confidently announced he had accomplished his life goals and didn't have a bucket list. He traveled, experienced, and sought out adventure. He loved deeply, gave selflessly, and shined brighter than most during his short time with us. He will be missed. Jayson leaves behind his wife, Hannah, his fur baby, Daisy, parents, Tony and Sharon, sister, Nicole, her husband's Brooks, brother, Brandon, Sheree, nieces, nephews, extended family, and many friends. Viewings will be held at Russin Brothers Mortuary, followed by a celebration of his life. Online condolences can be offered to the family at www.russinmortuary.com.
Come stop your crying, it'll be alright. Just take my hand, hold it tight. I will protect you from all around you. I will be here, don't you cry. For one so small, you seem so strong. My arms will hold you, keep you safe and warm. This bond between us can't be broken. I will be here, don't you cry, 'cause you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart from this day on, now and forevermore. You'll be in my heart, no matter what they say. You'll be here in my heart, always. Why can't they understand the way we feel? They just don't trust what they can't explain. I know we're different, but deep inside us, we're not that different at all. And you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart from this day on, now and forevermore. Don't listen to them, 'cause what do they know? We need each other to have to hold. They'll see in time, I know. When destiny calls you, you must be strong. It may not be with you, but you've got to hold on. They'll see in time, I know. Structure them together, 'cause you'll be in my heart. 'Cause you'll be in my heart from this day on, now and forevermore. Oh, you'll be in my heart, no matter what they say. You'll be here in my heart, always. I'll be with you. I'll be there for you always. Always and always, I'll be with you. Just look over your shoulder. Just look over your shoulder. Just look over your shoulder. I'll be there always.
Dear Jace, I've sat down to write this letter 1,000 times. I think this is one of the hardest things I will ever have to do. I keep having the impression to write this, and I want to ignore it because denial seems to hurt less than goodbye. And how do you do that? Dang it, I am going to miss you so much. There are so many things I want to say to you. So many things that I hope you know. Let's face it, we're feds, so we never talk about feelings. And we certainly don't talk about the big elephant in the room, like death. So I'm going to take this non-confrontational way of dealing with this elephant because I will never get through what I want to say in person. I'll just ugly cry, and I know that's not a pretty sight and you hate it. So first things first, I love you. I know
I admit I was slightly disappointed in knowing that Mom and Dad were bringing home another brother and not a sister. I did want to have someone to dress up in my doll clothes. Oh wait, I did that too anyway. But all things considered, it was pretty cool having you in our family. I remember that phone call from the agency telling Mom that yes, we have a baby waiting for our family, and I was very excited. I couldn't wait to meet you. I loved you from the moment I got to hold you and sniff your sweet baby smell. I know Mom probably wanted to pull her hair out in frustration at my insistence on getting up with you every night, but hey, I heard you first, and first come, first pick up the baby and snuggle him. I think she may have been a little tired at this point. You were such a cute little guy. I just wanted to smother you with kisses and hugs. I am sad this only worked while you were little. Come on, admit it. You like to be smothered in hugs and kisses from me. Why are you smirking and shaking your head at me right now? I just wanted a hug. From that day on, you completed our family. You were a perfect addition. Your funny, sunshine, mischievous personality has always been a happy part in our family. From your funny comments to your practical jokes, I will miss your antics. I'm not saying I loved being on the other end of your antics, by the way. You did keep us laughing, though. One of my favorite laughs was your beloved chicken run around the Centerville house with your sweatpants up over your shoulders, squawking. Or your drives to karate with Brian Thompson and bedonking everybody out the window. We still laugh at that. My favorite picture of you was captured at my wedding with the face that you pulled in front of the camera. It summed up your personality for me. Since there are 11 years between us, you will always be my little brother. I know that's not the case anymore since you're taller than me. I know we haven't been completely in sync. See what I did there? I know, you're laughing. Through life, but that would just make it completely boring, and boring is so cliche. I want you to know I'm proud of you, of your decision to make a life for yourself, to be independent. It's not easy to do it, but you did it with hard work and everything you put yourself into. I'm so delighted and grateful you found a Hannah. She brought back your happy that had been missing for so many years. I feel like with her, you finally got back to your old bad self. I mean, seriously, she even got you to come to Sunday dinner. She will never know how grateful we are for her profound influence on you. Hannah's been an amazing miracle for you and for our family. Her strength and courage and determination to face this trial head on gave everyone hope during the darkest days. We're so lucky to find her. We can all see how much you love her. Don't you worry. I know you will. We will love and cherish Hannah, and she will always be a part of the Feds. You really have been a larger-than-life superhero to my kids. Jake was so disappointed he didn't get his day with Uncle Jay's playing Xbox. It really is the only time he would get to play shoot-'em-up games, because I would only be making that exception for you, brother. Jake loved attending your Survival 101 class last summer and was exceptionally good at making paracord bracelets. He was totally into it, thank you so much, and looked forward to the final test. He did say he was getting really good at snares as well. Claire and I are super disappointed you won't be here for Claire's first date. I was counting on Uncle Jace to appear in his bad leather, earrings in, tats exposed, gun in hand for the interview. Let's face it, Brooks just won't be as intimidating as you. P.S. I think Claire was really looking forward to this life event. It just won't be the same. Disney World will go down in history as the best family vacation ever. There won't be another one that will ever be the same. And you got to eat that turkey leg you were totally looking forward to. Sometimes it's the little things. January 2014 will forever be etched in my memory as the start of this cancer nightmare. I will never forget the way you licked that day that you came into the patch. Stupid cancer. It was a knife to my heart to hear those words. You have a tumor and know you're facing your own mortality. You have put up such a good fight. You've done everything you could. The treatments have been brutal, and I'm sure there were many days that you felt like crap. I bleeped out the other word you used for it. But even when things were bleak, from my observations, you weren't a complainer. But maybe I should check with Hannah on this one. You still found something good to get out of it, even if it was just something small, as soft serve ice cream for every meal. Kate was thinking that that was a pretty good deal. I wish there was more I could do for you. You've always been there for me. I read this little tidbit about cancer the other day. I think it sums it up pretty well. What cancer cannot do. Cancer is so limited. It cannot cripple love. It cannot shatter hope. It cannot corrode faith. It cannot destroy peace. It cannot kill friendship. It cannot suppress memories. It cannot silence courage. It cannot invade the soul. It cannot steal eternal life. It cannot conquer the spirit. Here's some things I will miss so much about you. Playing the piano on Sunday, the five songs that you taught yourself how to play by ear. We should have recorded those because those would be sweet sounds now. How you smirk at me and snidely say my name, Nicole, when you're imparting your vast knowledge and opinions to me. Don't smirk at me. I know what you know what I'm talking about. I'll miss your tender heart and your gruff, don't touch me exterior. You remind me so much of Grandpa Joe in that respect. You just say you're humoring me and whine about getting a hug, but secretly I know you love it. Your random fly-by-the-patch days to have lunch with me. Patch just won't be the same. Your crazy facial hair will always have Lucky the leprechaun. Singing to the smooth beat at the top of our lungs of Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. The Sunday fish fry a la Jayson. The way you raise one eyebrow and then break into Hans with your German accent. The random texts. I will be using the last one to blackmail you one day. I really have no words for this next one. You've terrorized Mom and me for years with this, your fart hugs. I will not miss the first part, but the second part, oh so much. Quit laughing. I'll miss the yearly contest of who can get Jayson the funniest birthday card. Naming our cars, Dorothy, the Duchess von Acura. The Scottish accent that you so eloquently deliver from I Married an Axe Murderer. Head, pants, no. Claire just doesn't come close, even though she tries. Shoving your meat and potatoes into a Rhodes roll on Sunday. We thought you'd give that up after you got married, but hey, some things never change. Being able to call you for car problems. Everyone needs a mechanic in the family, and you're it. Now what do I do? Having a conversation with Mom's cat while you're holding her on her back so she can't escape. You know she hated that. Claire mentioned that you had given her a brown teddy bear for her birthday at age 5. That bear's still with her today, and she'll never forget it. She remembers the day you came to pick her up in first grade. She remembers you leaning in the door frame, looking all scary. Her teacher wasn't sure if she could send you with Claire or not. And then she got to ride in your race car. She loves the same music and has some favorite songs that you've shown her. She'll miss all of you. Jake also said he'd miss all of you too. Said he loved it when Jace taught knots and snares with parachute cord bracelets, Survival 101. He'll miss your jokes and wish he got to see you more. Brooks said that you're his go-to guy. Didn't matter what he needed, you were always there, and you did it. He said he was also able to say whatever he wanted to around you, and you didn't judge and you didn't care. He'll also be missing your Scottish accent. Kate said she will miss hugging you and miss seeing you. One more poem and then I'm done. This is called The Dash by Linda Ellis. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on his tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that that first came the date of his birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that he spent alive on earth. And now only those who love him know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters most is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So thanks, Jace. Thanks for spending our dash with us. You'll be in our hearts always. Love, Nikki.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. Standing on the edge of something much too deep. It's funny how we feel so much, but cannot say a word. We scream inside, oh, we can't be heard. And I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. I'm so afraid to love you, but more afraid to lose. Clinging to a past that doesn't let me choose. Once there was a darkness, a deep and endless night. You gave me everything you had, oh, you gave me light. And I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. Weep not for the memories. Weep not for the memories.
I'm sure Jayson at this point just wants us to pop a few rounds off into the air and get this thing going. I just want to share a few memories that I have of my sunglasses are so you can't see the tears. I'm honored to speak about my brother's, some of the fondest memories I have of my brother. I'll start off with some of the serious ones, and then I'll get to the good ones. He was well known for blue darts, and he taught my wife how to do that. That was neat. We loved to go to Alaska, and the trips up there were some of the greatest memories that I have of being with Jayson and my dad and Brooks. He loved skiing. He was a heavy sleeper when he was a kid. I remember one time I woke up and I saw him get out of his bed, go to walk to the end of the bed, pull his pants down, pee on his bed, and climb back in bed. I don't know if things changed much, Hannah. He used to call tractors big digs, and that was always cute. We always called whenever we'd see a tractor, we had a lot of development going on around our house, and he was always so intrigued by the big digs. Such a cute little kid walking around seeing big digs. He broke his arm when he was 2, and if you want to see something cute, put a 2-year-old in a cast. Holy cow. He loved blankets. He loved sleeping on the couch. Growing up, I don't think that he ever had to make his bed because he always slept out on the couch. Probably staying up late playing video games. He loved mountain biking, riding his 4-wheeler and his dirt bikes, and always looking for that adrenaline rush. One time he was in a hardware store. It was me, my dad, and Jayson. It was about the time he was potty training, and he told my dad he needed to go to the bathroom. And then my dad told him to just hang on. We continued to go through the store, and Dad asked him again if he needed to still go. He didn't. He found a toilet that was on display. That was classic Jayson right from the get-go. He had a real tender heart. He did look real tough, but boy, he was just a tender-hearted guy. I really missed that about him. Last December, I called Jace to tell him about some struggles I was going through, and he was so super supportive of me. He's always concerned. He tried to get me to drink some beers and go 4-wheeling to feel better, and told him that probably wasn't the best thing for me at the time, but I appreciated the offer. Jayson was always really humble. He was never in it to make, a whole bunch of money or be better than the next guy, and that was something that I've always admired about my brother, and I always will admire about my brother. He was just happy with the job that he had, and with the $30 video game, he was thrilled. He loved guns and Chinese stars. When he was a kid, my mom thought he was going to grow up to be really violent because he loved the Chinese stars so much. He grew out of the Chinese stars, but we all know that he didn't grow out of the guns. We all appreciate him for that. That always neat to listen to his latest and greatest toy that he had bought. And some of the terrorizing moments, I had dressed up like Santa Claus, put shaving cream on my face, and threw a pillowcase over my shoulder, and told him, it was about Christmas time, obviously. He woke up, and I scared him half to death. I don't know if he ended up wetting the bed at that time or not, but he would always tell that story in sheer terror about me coming and waking him up. He was always willing to help, no matter what the project was. He was always just get in there and get the project done. A couple of early memories. I broke my femur when I was 8, and I don't know how I survived that one, but I was grateful too. And when I was in the hospital, the nurse, his name was Kelly, and he was the one that finally got the needle in my arm. So we really liked Kelly, and we really liked the name. And it wasn't a few days later, we were in the hospital. We got the call, and we were going to have another addition to the family, and I was going to have a baby brother, and we named him Kelly. My parents named him Kelly. I guess I didn't have much of a factor in there, but it was in early elementary school when his name was changed to Jayson Kelly. So we just kind of changed some things around, and he was happy to have that name change. Again, it goes back to how tender-hearted he was, and how special of a kid he was. We used to go out to eat, and everybody would think that he's the kid off of Home Alone, the original Home Alone. Man, we'd get asked that every single time. And Jayson was just like that kid. Devious and practical jokes. Man, he was all over that. Musically talented, and he could hear a song and he'd go down and play it on the piano, and I think it about made me and Nikki sick. Of course, I was so tired of playing the piano growing up. I hated that thing, but later in life you look back and think, man, that kid's got some serious talent. Same with the guitar. He could just pick it up and play it, and it was just really neat to see that that happen when he'd do that. One of the funniest moments, and Jason's gonna love hearing this one. One of the funniest moments that we had was we play a lot of practical jokes on each other as brothers, and I went upstairs one time. He was in the shower, and I had a big bowl of water, cold water. We all know how this goes, but the ending's much better. I dumped the bucket of water on his head in the shower, and he didn't even try to get out of the shower curtain. He just came through the shower curtain. And I went tearing downstairs. And as I came around into the kitchen, I had a big bowl of flour waiting there for me because I anticipated his chase. And my mom was there, and as soon as he came through the kitchen, man, I hit him with this huge bowl of flour. And it was, the big Tupperware thing. It was full, and it was like a bomb went off. And there's Jayson, just naked, soaking wet, covered in flour head to toe. And all we could do is just sit there and laugh at each other. It took him an hour to go get cleaned up because it just kept turning into dough in the shower. My mom was so furious at us, but we ended up cleaning it up, and it was all good. I'll always have a lot of those memories, and I'll cherish those memories, and I know that my brother's body is going to be buried, and but his spirit lives on, and I hope that all of us can remember those special memories of Jayson, because that's all we have left. We can reflect upon those memories, those special times that we had with him, the loving, caring person that he was, and he's not too far from us. And Jace, man, You put up a good fight. I'm so sorry that it had to be you. But I don't think anybody else could have dealt with it the way that you did. I love you, Jace.
Thank you very much for these wonderful feelings that have been shared today. And I'm quite confident that each of you have thoughts and memories and feelings that, if we had time, every one of you could come up here and share some of those. And I think that's the value of what we have done here today. And since I get to occupy this little moment, I just want to tell you that about 27 years ago, our family moved in right across the street from Tony and Sharon and their family. And we got to know this beautiful young girl, Nikki, and Brandon must have been 11 or 12, I'm guessing. And Kelly, at that time, was who we knew. Kelly was this adorable little boy that with this blonde hair and this big old cowlick right smack in the middle of his hair, and the rest of the hair would kind of flop around that cowlick. And he was the cutest little guy. And we just learned to love the whole family. And I can just tell you that I'll refer to him as Kelly in this context, because if there was anything in the neighborhood that moved or made a noise, he was on top of it, because it would take him somewhere to a new adventure. If it was a sound like a motor, he was drawn to anything that was burning fossil fuels or even electric. And I remember, I think probably it's obvious that what I do, I'm a funeral director, and living across from the Federicos. One night I remember coming home. It was probably 3 o'clock in the morning, and I looked over there, and you know how TVs, when they make the big flashes, you can't see the TV, but you can see the big flashes, kind of like peripheral, knowing that someone is really doing some serious gaming. That's knowing Jayson at this time. He was just a master at those thumbs. He's a great person. Well, we're all going to miss Jayson, and I think it's safe to say that as we are assembled here, that Jayson leaves this life having been loved. And that's a rich thing. It's a rich thing for us to live our life and to leave it being loved by a wonderful wife and mother and father, brother and sister, nieces and nephews, and even a little dog, and extended family, and all of you, and many, many more that couldn't even fill this park, I'm sure. And so we honor and pay tribute to Jayson and the life that he's lived. And as I said to Hannah last night, I believe that even though we didn't want Jayson to go as early as he did, that he was able to cram into his 30 years as much as many do, living 70. And so for that we can have some happiness. We can have some joy in thinking about that and reflect upon what he stood for and what he did and how he lived his life to the fullest. So we can take the good from everything that we see in each other and build on that and appreciate that, and never take the opportunity to express appreciation for that we see in each other. Today, the pallbearers have been and will continue to be Brooks Larson, Brandon Federico, Jamin Federico, Jake Larson, Scott Polish, Mike Mosdell, Castell Eldridge, and Dan Carling. Upon my invitation, we would like to invite all of you to stand and the pallbearers to come forward. We will then escort Jayson's casket back to the funeral cars and invite all of you that would like to form a procession as we go across the street to the Farmington City Cemetery.